Well, moments ago on Newsnight, we spoke with the president of, that's the national president of the NARD, the National Association of Resident Doctors in Nigeria, on the strike that they started today, 1st of April. Well, we have the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, joining us now to respond to some of the issues he raised and, of course, to other points that we'll be having with him tonight. Thank you so much, Dr. Chris Ngige, for joining us on Newsnight. We were expecting to have you much earlier. Now, I hope you listened to the national president of the NARD and some of the issues he raised. You had said that majority of the demands made by the resident doctors have been met by federal government or are being met. But he says none of those demands have been met. Help us understand what the true situation is.
Well, I don't blame the young man. He's new in labor negotiations to know the nuances of an agreement. When you do an agreement, you can do an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. You can do a Memorandum of Action. When you do a Memorandum of Action, it's even stronger than a Memorandum of Understanding because you are putting definite timelines for this action to be done. And that's exactly where I took them to yesterday, until the early hours of this morning. I'm not their primary employer. I'm Minister of Labour and Employment. Their primary employer is the Federal Ministry of Health, which supervises the teaching hospital. So I don't want it to be misconstrued that I'm leading the government team. No, I'm a conciliator, and in conciliation, you make parties do what is called give and take, and in so doing also, you get for both partners what is the irreducible minimum of what they can get, so that you can effectively conciliate that dispute. And there will be peace in that particular industrial milieu. I'm so surprised and taken aback that after we signed this Memorandum of Action this morning, because it was around after 12 or thereabout that we dispatched, they still went on to call up their members to a national strike. Even some of the demands are things that concern state governments. Even some of the demands are things that concern state governments. Even are things that NARD, strictly censor, is not a trade union as such. And so they don't know what the labor law says. First and foremost, I have apprehended the dispute. I have apprehended it. And when you do apprehension and you're on a conciliation table, nobody force on the other a fait accompli. You can't. They cannot have force on their employer Ministry of Health, by extension the federal government of Nigeria, a fait accompli while on a negotiation table. And we signed a memorandum that says that because of this memorandum, they will go back to their members and educate them on what has been agreed with the timelines placed on that, with a view for them not to disturb the labor industrial milieu in the health sector. It's there in the agreement. And we agreed to reconvene after 4 weeks, because most of the timelines we fix for action on everything, some are immediate, some are in 1 week, some are in 2 weeks, and the furthest of them is in 3 weeks. And we said we'll reconvene after 4 weeks, only for them to call up their members and inflict injuries on the suspecting members of the public during a festivity, during Easter break,
okay,
a holy period in the Catholic calendar.
Okay,
in the Christian
Honorable
calendar,
Minister,
sorry.
if I may come in here, what are the things, if any at all, because according to the president of NARD, he said nothing has been done by government. Is there anything, MOU, MOA, Memorandum of Understanding, Memorandum of Action, is there anything in the recent past that has been done by government to at least make them see that there is good intention and there is action that backs it up in any way at all?
Yes, in all their demands, government has agreed. Some of them were work in progress in their last year's strike, and some of them have been executed 100%. 100% for something like the medical residency training program. At the time it was mooted in 2019, it was work in progress and had to go to National Assembly for their appropriation. By the time COVID happened last year and the budget was sent back for redrafting, it was discovered that this particular fund was missing. I remember Bajabi Amila speaker, honorable speaker, saying that even if it means doing a supplementary on this, we must do it. And it was done and captured under the COVID-19 budget for 2020. Yes. And the money, I think, I can't remember the exact amount, either 20 billion or thereabout, was approved. And it was one of the releases done 100% by the Ministry of Finance in the COVID releases on the COVID budget. Other budgetary allocations under the COVID were released 50%, even as I speak to you now. But that particular one was released 100%.
Yeah.
Go to the issue of the House Officers program that triggered off this particular threat or industrial dispute. 3 categories of people were involved. 3 categories of House Officers. First, you have the first group of House Officers who, because of the migration into IPs of the House Officers, they were hitherto now on jeepneys because they were receiving what can be called irregular allowances. Because housemanship is just for 12 calendar months. So the finances of the House Officers were lodged under jeepneys and sent to the institutions. But with IPs coming on, everybody was expected to go there. So some House Officers did not get money for December and some for November. That's category 1. They are the regular House Officers. No. Then you have the House Officers in category 2, or well, category 1B. Who are these House Officers? They are House Officers that met the accreditation status, the quota status of every institution, because Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria accredits its institution and give you an allocation based on your need, bed space, and other parameters taken into account. So you have...
Yes, Dr. Ngige, let me come in very quickly here. The NARD president did talk about some kind of fraud being perpetrated by the CMDs right now at the institutions. Have you been able to investigate some of these fraud claims on the part of the NARD? And can you tell us exactly why government is not able to meet these doctors halfway in a way that they will stay on and not go on strike? Why?
We have made them more than halfway.
When you say you've made them more than halfway, let's talk about insurance, for example, that they're saying 17 doctors, for example, have died having been exposed to COVID-19, and so many others, Lassa fever, about 300 and something doctors have actually unfortunately lost their lives. Why is it that a Nigerian doctor is not insured? And, when he dies or she dies, their families or their dependents are left out at sea?
My sister, you see, this is a very big white lie. The federal government of Nigeria spent last year, March, 13.3 billion to do group life insurance for all workers, all civil servants, public servants in institutions of the federal government, civil servants and public servants in some parastatals that cannot do group life for their people. 13.3 billion. And it was paid. 13 insurance companies and brokerage companies got this money. So this is not the first time NARD and the teaching hospitals have been told to send in names to make claims for those who have lost their life. It's an insurance that is for 1 year. So it's still on up to end of March. And even the new payment is now being processed so that it becomes a continuous thing. So NARD, we told them, even in the meeting yesterday, make your claims. If you have a premium and you don't make a claim, nobody will pay you because you have to make a claim, and this claim, get it in through the Ministry of Health and send it to Office of Head of Service. From them to the insurance companies, and the people will be paid. It's not only for them, it's for all workers, all civil servants, because government decided to use it to stop the silo working of establishments in paying death benefits to civil servants and workers. So with COVID, we've been saying that the health workers need this more than every other person. So government rushed to pay. So there is an insurance, group life insurance in situ now for every worker, every health worker, including the doctors. We have also given additional insurance from PTF, especially for those who work inside the COVID isolation centers, for them to get something additional to that. Moreover, there is an insurance for compensation for injuries, diseases, and even death in the course of your work, called employee compensation. There is an act of federal government on it, ECA, and the operating agency is Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund. So what you need to do, if you're a government person and you have been insured under that, you make your claim direct and get the money. Unionization or association for the welfare of workers is not only for you to go on strike. You should do additional things to protect your own. So they should make the claim. They now have the number 17. Make claim for 17. You have a right to do so. As NIRD. I told them that even at the meeting yesterday. You have a right to make claim on behalf of your people. The insurance companies will go, verify it, and pay death benefits to them. If you make claim on Employee Compensation Act for anybody who has suffered injuries in the course of his or her work, or hazard in the course of the work, make a claim. The body that is pretending it, NSITF, will come and verify. And if such a person exists, and such a person has had hazard or injuries or disease condition in the course of his work, there's an amount that can be paid, even to the employer, the man who employed him, for loss of his manpower. That is what the act says. So even yesterday, I raised it with them and I told them this. So I am not very happy with them. They're my junior colleagues, but they are refused to learn. I've been telling them these things, that they should know them. Rushing to strike is not it. Because under Hippocratic oath, that no doctor is supposed to go on strike. I have never gone on strike in all my life. An oath is an oath. I swore to God and to Hippocrates and to the profession that the welfare of my patient will be the cardinal thing that will guide me in all my actions.
Okay.
So I'm not very happy with them.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chris Ngige, Labour and Employment Minister, for joining us on Newsday.